Hey guys, welcome back to another Tangent Talks, a student-led and video-edited podcast. I'm your host, Brian, and today we're going to be getting into some scary games recommendations. Spooktober is most definitely over. However, unlike Spooktober, or unlike seasons, finished games do not change. Beforehand, the weather has been somewhat cloudy most recently. However, it has been getting a little bit sunnier. However, with daylight savings time ending, it is going to get a lot darker a lot sooner. So when you're trying to get home, just watch yourself and try to stay safe. The darkness is my comfort place, so I should be fine, but try to get home safely. Anyways, other than that, the games that I'm going to be recommending here are going to be free scary games from Steam. Some of them do have some DLCs, so you might want to spend some money to finish off some of these games. There's no going to be no particular order of these. Starting off strong here is Swallow the Sea, indie game made by the publisher. It's the Talia. Basically, you start off as a egg cell or some sort of embryo, and throughout the game you're trying to eat smaller things while growing in order to evolve and eventually hatch. It is, you start off in the sea, of course, so sort of like a fish-like game where you kind of eat smaller fish, and there's always a big fish around that's trying to also get you. The game is pretty short, actually, about 12 through 15 minute playthrough. Of course, you can ruin a run by dying, however, should be checkpoints along the way for you to continue playing. Next up is a series games that has multiple chapters. Each chapter you have to pay for, except for the first one. So you can buy the DLC to this game if you are enjoying it and you more chapters to play. However, the first episode or first chapter of the game, From Fears to Fathom, is called Home Alone. You're currently home alone and something happens, and so far you're trying to survive it. Gives you that sense of dread while you're at home at night. Next up, we have a game in capturing the backrooms called The Complex Found Footage. This game basically is you going around the backrooms trying to, with a VHS camera, like sort of playstyle, where you can go through the game, you can run a shift, you can crouch, and you can zoom in with the camera. The backrooms is basically this lore heavy-ish, like real life is sort of like a computer, and basically you have glitched your way, you have no clipped your way through the ground and ended up in the backrooms. It's basically a place of just made of linear liminal spaces. The definition for liminal space doesn't really give you that much context into what it is. In Google here, a liminal space is a location which is a transition between two other locations or states of being. Yeah, not that much understanding there, but it's basically sort of a nostalgic type of abandoned place that gives you that nostalgia, however, still keeps you sort of on edge. This game is very atmospheric based. You do have that fear of something getting you. Next up, a fairly unknown game. The game is called The Normal Thing. It is sort of a point and click puzzle like mystery puzzle escape game where you are playing around as a dog who's lost his memories. You're basically going on a journey to recover those memories, and you go through these forests, gardens, strange places in order to do so. This is a puzzle game, so it is a one and done game afterwards. you are able to control the movement of the dog going around and doing stuff. Next up is Mr. Hop's Playhouse, a hide and seek style of game where you play as Ruby, a young girl who has a fear of her handmade toy called Mr. Hop. Basically, it's your job to play as Ruby, avoid, and go around the place trying to discover what's going on, basically. Sort of like a point and click, where you have to find certain items to unlock certain stuff, do certain puzzles with it, all at the risk of getting discovered by this Mr. Hops. That's all I can say on it, but it's free, so please check it out. Next up, one of the origins to a recent game that I covered would be the Roblox Doors game. This game, the Roblox Doors games, is based off this game. As I mentioned in the previous podcast, Spooky's Jump Scare Mansion. Like the Roblox Doors game, you go through doors here, you encounter some events, entities along your way. It is a much longer game, along with some mini games and stuff to encounter along the way, so I recommend a sit down for this game. And finally, a less scarier note, Shadowbringer, a game where instead of getting chase hunted by a monster, you are the monster. You basically wake up in the facility without any recollection of past or memory, and basically trying to escape it while figuring out what happened or how you even got there. As the monsters, you have different abilities to help you sneak your way through the facility, take down guards, and try to get through some of the puzzles that stop you from getting out of the facility. But other than that, yeah, that has been recommendations. Hope you guys have enjoyed, and I'll see you guys later for the next Tangent Talks podcast. Peace.